Hey guys, what's up? ScottishDuckTales once again, and I'm wearing the same top as I had on yesterday. Anyway, enough about that. This is going to be a first impressions video on Kuni, Wrath of the White fucking Witch. And yes, that is the title, or it should be, to emphasise how fucking amazing it is. Okay, now, before we get into this, I want to rant for a little bit, okay? A lot of you are probably aware of the fiasco Namco went through with the Wizards edition of this game. You know, it came with like an awesome spell book, a wee plush, and a couple other bits and bobs, you know. Basically in America, and over here in fact, they didn't make as many copies as they thought they would. Either that, or it was just in ridiculously high demand. Which it was, you know. This game is getting a lot of like recognition right now. But yeah, I had mine pre-ordered months ago. Like, the day you could pre-order them, I went on play.co.uk. Click, pre-order, yes. And then as the months went on, I noticed, wait a minute, the play.co.uk has taken it off their website, what? And yeah, my pre-order was cancelled, and I was just like, oh. So I had it pre-ordered with Amazon, but they didn't have any either, but they said that they would email me when they got some. But it came to like 3 days before the thing was released, and no notification whatsoever. So I kind of gave up hope. But then, Mr. Halloween4545, bless him, gave me a link to where I could buy one. So I quickly was like, oh god, yes, pre-order. And, nay dice, I got an email saying, not enough, demand was too high, you can't get one. So I had to go to game and get the standard edition. Nah. So yeah, I am gutted that I didn't get that special edition, but at the same time, I'm happy that the game is getting so much, you know, attention and all that, you know, like, this thing sold out because everybody really wants the game, you know, and if you want that special edition now, you can go on eBay and pay up to like 300-400 quid for it, and I'm not gonna do that, but anyway, enough of that, let's get on to the actual game. Okay, so as we normally do with, first impressions on... Well, I'll give you a wee bit of backstory on the game first. Developed by Level 5, the guys that brought us Professor Layton, Dark Cloud, and White Knight Chronicle. Ignore that last one. And yeah, they actually worked with Studio Ghibli, who's done such films as like Howl's Flying Castle, Spirited Away. I'm embarrassed to admit this, I've never watched a Studio Ghibli film all the way through. And I know that they're like the Japanese equivalent to Pixar Studios, you know, in terms of like how beloved they are and how much imagination goes into their films and stuff. But, I don't know, I guess I do need to watch them, I understand this, alright? So yeah, all the like art in this game was done by Studio Ghibli, and there's loads of like, you know, animated cutscenes which look gorgeous, and yeah, overall, very, very good looking game, you know, it looks, I mean, just walking around the town's alright. They were talking about this in an interview, okay? And I'm just like, that's a nice way to blow your own trumpet. They'd said, right, that the game should be fun just by walking around. And you know what? It fucking is. Everything just looks so pretty, so well put together. The camera's, you know, just close enough to Oliver to give you, like, all this look in the background sort of thing. And it just looks like a Studio Ghibli film, because the backgrounds are technically somewhat 2D, you know, especially in the cutscenes and that, but they just look... The whole thing just looks gorgeous, you know. You know, I remember thinking myself a few years ago that cell shading graphics had kind of, you know, reached its peak. You know, cell shaded graphics weren't really gonna get any better because the novelty kind of wore off. But Level 5 has definitely proved me on. So is Namco in general, actually. You know, with the Tales of games and stuff. But yeah, enough of going on about how it looks. It sounds really nice as well. This is one of the few games where I've decided not to be a fucking weeaboo and I'm listening to it in English, and the English dub is superb, you know. The music is all brilliant also, you know, like the world map theme and the town's theme and the battle theme. They're all just really well written and, you know, they fit and all that, and yeah, blah blah blah. Story-wise, yeah, I was, anybody who's watched the trailers would know this. Okay, so this isn't really a spoiler. I'm pretty sure it says on the box somewhere as well, but basically Oliver, the main character, his mum dies really early in the game, and all the trailers were like, they went all Shadow of the Colossus on us and said, how far will you go to save someone you love? Actually, didn't Heavy Rain do that as well? Yeah. But yeah, and... oh dear, drama. Anyway, lost my train of thought now. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so yeah. Oliver's mum dies fairly early in the game, and I gotta say, the game did a good job making me give a shit about a character that you only just met, you know. Oliver's all sad and shit, he cries on this sort of doll and it comes to life as a fairy, which is kind of weird, but at the same time kind of magical. And yeah, he goes on his little quest to try and bring his mum back from the dead and stuff, and it's really nice, heartwarming and stuff, you know. It's not too serious, it's not too dark. It does have you smiling all the way through, especially Drippy, by the way. Drippy's awesome. So yeah, it's one of those games that I think is going to stick with me once I'm done with it. One thing I'm kind of mixed on, to be honest, is the combat system. Okay, it's sort of a mix between real-time and turn-based. You can basically fight as Oliver, or you can throw out a familiar, which is basically like a Pokemon, and you can have them fight. But what I'm doing for the most part when I'm wandering about, and you get in battle quite frequently, by the way, it's quite hard to avoid enemies, you know, when you're going through dungeons or that, because the corridors are quite narrow, so you can't really avoid them that well. As you'll just be hitting X, and then for about 4 or 5 seconds, you know, your familiar will just attack. You can come out of that attack phase by pressing circle and pick something else, like defend, or use a spell or an item or whatever. But I don't know, it's like, it's just not that exciting for some reason. You know, you feel like you're just watching more than anything, and I know that might sound weird considering I like turn-based so much, and there's probably a lot of turn-based haters out there that are going to be like, well, isn't that what you're doing all the time? But I don't know, it's like, it's set up to be sort of real-time so much that I kind of expect it to be like that, I suppose. So, I don't know, I don't hate it by any means, I'm just a bit 50-50 on it now, you know? Mind you, I haven't gotten further in the game where you get other party members. If you've been looking at the trailers, yeah, there are other party members. So maybe they'll add some new layers to the combat. Who knows? I'll let you know when I get around to doing a full proper review of this. And by proper review, I mean coming in front of this camera and just talking like this, in fact. So yeah. But yeah, if you haven't already, although that's kind of unlikely I suppose, definitely pick this up, okay? Again, I'm happy the game is getting so much popularity as it is. It truly does make me, you know, like, because the JRPG has been on decline. I really think Operation Rainfall and, you know, like Xenoblade and Last Story, that whole campaign has really, like, had a strong effect on JRPGs in general, because 2013 is looking to be so good, and if this is any indication, you know, its starting point, Ni no Kuni, we're in for a treat of a year, so yeah. That's all I got to say on that, guys. Can't recommend it enough, really, so yeah. See you after. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.